அந்த பக்கத்தில் அந்த நோட்ஸ் இருந்தாங்க. இட் கிரியேட்ஸ் அ வெரி சில இது வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி ஒரு ஃபியர் கூட வரலாம், இல்லை ரொம்ப ஒரு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஃபீல். அந்த ஹி ஹஸ் யூஸ்ட் a lot of விவாதி ராகம்ஸ். துளசி தலை வந்து ஃபுல்லு இதுலேயே வரும். துளசி தலை ஆஸ் சச். ஏசுதாஸ் வந்து முதல்ல இதுலேருந்து தான் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது. என்டையர் மூவி இந்த தீம் வச்சு தான் இருக்குது. இது வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஜெமினி கணேசன் இஸ் a classical singer in that. அவர் வீட்டு வாசலில் வந்து சாமி வந்து முன்னாள் முடிவு இது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வருது. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து uses this as called as we say as theme music that we call it as leitmotif in English. அது வந்து இது பண்ணி is showing different variations of one particular theme. So that is where the greatness lies. Nariya, I think people familiar with this BGM would know that uses the same tune but in different full kalare வேற மாதிரி இருக்கு. We can go on talking about this, but again talking about this iconography, anybody has any other questions?
Yeah, I have one observation.
Yeah,
I think what you mentioned about Vadivel and Rishti could very well be applied to other fields as well.
yeah.
A sportsman, for example, who's an expert in his field, a once in a lifetime kind of sportsman, or a once in a lifetime kind of scientist, or a once in a lifetime kind of leader. I think the qualities that you mentioned
are the same.
Are probably the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that they all are one at one level. When you we look at anything from 10,000, keep thinking they are one and the same. Only the way they have disseminated to the community is different.
Disseminated, or the way they have delivered or
Delivered it, yeah, exactly.
No, I think it's something similar which I was discussing with you in last week's performance. The throwing of an arrow. So suddenly I realized we always do like this and then turn here and throw like that. Then I was watching the archers during the Olympics. No? They do that and then they don't look back at all, and then because the entire target is there. So in dance we were told இழுத்து காது வரைக்கும் கொண்டு திருப்பி பார்த்து போடணும், திருப்பி பார்த்தா அந்த concentration போயிடும்ல. So I used that particular watching after the Olympics. I was just doing the composition. I said do it like this so that there is 100% your concentration is there.
There are many concepts which, especially there's a concept when it comes to iconography. It's not iconography, it's a very general term being borrowed from the major texts and being kind of mentioned in many other musical or architectural texts. A word like lyre. If we go and discuss the word like lyre to an iconographist or a traditional architect, generally this word lyre is used in terms of music as a rhythm or timekeeper or something like that. But for an architect, for an iconographist, lyre is a space keeper. The same terminology is used to keep a space, the measure of space, where time and space meets. Then only there's a point of inga eppadi taalamன்றது வந்து நம்ம டைம்க்கு மெஷரா சொல்றோமோ அவங்க ஆர்க்கிடெக்சர்ல வந்து தாளம்ன்றது டிஸ்டன்ஸ் குறிக்குது. That's same metrics used for space, here same metrics used for time. Then only I have to discuss it with an architect, that's a traditional architect, and say what is this? இதுக்கும் நம்ம லயம் தான் சொல்றோம், அதுவும் லயம் சொல்றோம், இதுவும் தாளம்னு சொல்றோம், அதுவும் தாளம்னு சொல்றோம். How is it and why is it? Then they give a beautiful explanation about laya. லயம்ன்றது வந்து தாளமும் கிடையாது, லயம்ன்றது டிஸ்டன்ஸும் கிடையாது. இட்ஸ் அ வெரி கொஞ்சம் லிட்டில் கொஞ்சம் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸான விஷயம் தான் இது. The fact of the matter is, if the mandala of the performer, if the mandala of the onlooker and the mandala in which it is alighted comes into resonance, then that is called laya. It's very complex at one particular point you look at it. You can apply it to anything you look at it. Any of the performing art, any of a sculptural art, painting, or even life that matter. இந்த வீடு வந்து லயமாக இருக்குது. இந்த இப்போ ஒரு ஹோமம் வளர்த்து கிரகப்பிரவேசம் பண்ணும்போது the word same laya is also used in terms of delusion. That is அழிவுன்னு பிரளயம்னு சொல்கிறது. பிரளயம். Prana expanding. Laya, that's expanding laya. Laya which has no control. Resonance கலையும் போது. That's called pralayam. So the opposite is layam. Pralayam, layam. Layam எப்படி கொண்டு வராங்க? இந்த வீட்டுக்குள்ள லயம் கொண்டு வரது எப்படின்னா, அவங்கள பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இங்கே உள்ள வாழ போகிற மக்கள் வந்து ஆடியன்ஸ். இந்த ஸ்பேஸ் வேர் தே கோயிங் டு லிவ் இஸ் த ஸ்டேஜ். இதுக்கு மேலே கட்டிடப்பட்ட அந்த கட்டம்ன்றது வந்து அவங்க கிரியேட் பண்ணியிருக்க ஆர்ட் ஒர்க். இது மூணுமே ரெசனன்ஸில் வந்தால் there is lion. The same metrics when you put it into the measure of time, the onlooker who is looking at the performer, who is singing, and the space where it is performed, this three has to come into resonance, then that becomes lion. So their way of defining many words are very different. Why I say that is, for me, Ilayaraja is a Laya Raja. In that context, you look at it, he has an exact resonance with any kind of an onlooker who is going to listen to his music at any given time period. அது காலையில் கேட்டாலும் சரி, நைட்டில் கேட்டாலும் சரி, இன்னும் 100 வருஷம் கழிச்சு கேட்டாலும் சரி, அந்த பர்டிகுலர் ஆடியன்ஸுக்காக அந்த பர்டிகுலர் மீடியமில் அந்த பர்டிகுலர் ஆர்ட் ஒர்க்கை அவர் கிரியேட் பண்ணிட்டு வச்சு போயிருக்கார். விச் இஸ் கான்ஸ்டன்ட்லி ரெசனேட். இட்ஸ் a perfect resonance.
So could you use the term equipoised?
Equipoised. That is what they define as laya. In fact, there I would also call him as a chitrakara. Raja could be called as a chitrakara because the word chitram in their context is not painting. Chitramna we related to painting. But avangala portha varaikkum it's a very complex term. They say the mystery or the secret behind the radiance of a color is called chitram. The mystery or the secret behind the radiance of a color is called chitram. It's a very deep connotative. Though chitram, any dictionary, lexicon, Sanskrit dictionary will give the word painting or sculpture. The meaning very few lexicographists in the earlier Sanskrit dictionary has referred this meaning. It's a very deep meaning. Chitram seiravanga appadina, from where the word vichitra comes. Chitram, vichitram, vichitram. Vichitramna nama astonished paga vichitrama irukke appadina, it doesn't mean a beautiful painting. It means that which radiates, that which is not contained, that which radiates is called vichitra. In that perspective, look at it, he has understood the mystery behind the radiance of a swara. The throw of a raga or the throw of a swara, he has understood it like nobody's business. That's why he could, today morning the song is the best example to it. Like, எத்தனையோ ராகம் உள்ள வந்துட்டு போகுது, like seamlessly they mix with each other. It is, as Sir rightly pointed, is never intellectual exercise. It's only an intuitive creativity of a great man who could see the throw or the radiance of that particular composition. இது இப்படி கொடுத்தா இது brilliant-ஆ இருக்கு. It radiates, just it radiates. அதுக்குள்ள technicality is a different, I think it's someone else's business. It's not his business. Like Dikshithar, like this is a composer by name Muthuswami Dikshithar. His composition, there is something called Navavarna Kritis. He has done it on the 9 Avarnas of the Sri Chakra.
His imagination of the Sarva.
It's his, yeah. His creation.
So when you say the mystery behind what's radiating, it means that, say in terms of like, say if you see it's black color, this means nothing is coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, so he knows that what should come out.
Exactly.
Or what shouldn't come out.
What shouldn't come out.
So he understood like, what if I hold back and what I give it will be
That matters. What I should hold, what I should give, that only matters.
So he is the master in that, and that's why it's
happening to anyone.
According to whatever.
According to it is, of course, according to many geniuses also.
But at any point has anybody, I don't know, I don't read the trying to do something. Well, has he ever been asked as to is he very consciously mixing swaras?
Yeah, many, they asked, that is what I said, I think I said in the morning.
What has he said?
He says music should happen.
That's what I said.
He says, that is his pet. He says music should happen. I don't break my head. When I sit with my harmoniums, whatever comes to my mind, I compose. You like it, that's it. Because you're all tuned to listen to that music. You're all in the same frequency. He also spoke about alpha rhythm. Recently, he spoke about alpha rhythm. So it is even if it is the same frequency, anything will resonate. I'm not sure how many of you watched that recent and even in the Telugu channel interview about 6 months back, he said the same thing. So it is music. If music becomes an intellectual exercise, it is the end. And he doesn't want to. He doesn't do that also. He doesn't do that. No.
His genius is best exemplified by that statement. It happens.
It happens.
He always says music has to happen. Why should I break my head? Music has to happen. If you like it, maybe that tune is good. That's all. It has to happen. And though there are a lot of intricacies which people like us try and see what is this, what is that, and all that. He leaves it. He leaves it at that, and he moves on to that. That's a typical example of a karma yogi.
Exactly.
Typical example of a karma yogi. You just do it, move on to the next. Otherwise, see, as I said in the morning, in the மாதிரி ஒரு composition பண்ணிட்டு, I would say it's an outstanding composition. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு composition பண்ணி, இங்க யாரா இருந்தாலும் இந்த மாதிரி நான் பண்ணிருக்கேன், அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணிருக்கேன், இந்த ராகத்தை போட்டிருக்கேன், ஒரே சக்கரத்துல 3 இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிருக்கேன். But he doesn't care. Only at times, ரொம்ப இது பண்ணானாக்க he will say that I did this. That's all. And, it is he just moves on. Next year, direct one situation. That's it. I go. So
Yeah.
It happens to me. Yeah. So it should be a music as a natural process.
Happens to me.
That is why.
Where you strike the plumb line of that particular. There is something called mental alignment. அது அலைன் ஆனாலே ஒழிய பேசுறது எல்லாமே சத்தியமா இருக்கும்.
So will it happen on its own, or you can try and
See,
Try.
it has to happen.
It has to happen.
It has to happen. That there are composers with all fairness to them who break their head in the மாதிரி நானக்கா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு of course they do other things also which I don't want to get into because it's not and I don't like comparisons because he is great. According to me, he is I would say the greatest film music composer ever India has produced. There is no doubt about it. And the money, actually we are saying that is why I said in the post also in the morning, he is appreciated equally by Pandits and by a common man. That doesn't happen to everybody. For Pandits, of course, it is during his initial days there were a lot of resistance because of many things, right? Because of the class, because of the caste he was coming from, because of his background, there were a lot of comments. I am aware of that, right? But he swam against the tide and he proved to the world that music cannot be confined to one particular community. That is another misconception. It is நான் அந்த பாடலின் படிப்பறியன் இதை நான் முன்னாடி 4 வருஷம் முன்னாடி எழுதிட்டேன். I don't know how many of you read that. Music எப்போ வந்து இது பண்ணனாக்கா, for example, I'm sorry to say but I have to quote this, in the recent TV show which we went, thankfully the channel edited that, one poet, one lyricist said that இந்த பேர் சில பேர் வந்து ராகம்லாம் சொன்னாங்க, அவங்க யாருன்னு உங்களுக்குலாம் தெரியும், அதே மாதிரி தமிழர்களுக்கும் அதெல்லாம் வரணும். I really didn't understand what he means. Does it mean to say that music is restricted to just one community? It cannot be music or dance is restricted to one community. Music is universal. How can it be restricted to one community? And why are people only one sect of people identified with classical music? That is totally wrong. He is wrongly informed. Nadaswaram Vidwanla idhula irukanga. They are all from what Devadasi community. The men join Nadaswaram classes and the women do dance. That is how it was in the tradition. So why? And Bharatanatyam was not the preserve of one community until one lady said it has to be opened out. That lady institution is just about a stone's throw away. If people are not familiar, it is Srimati Rukmani Devi who was instrumental in bringing taking dance, classical dance, out of the preserve of one particular community, which is not the community people are talking about. If Bharatanatyam classical music, now they talk about one community, which is I also know many people in the same community who don't know anything about fine arts. So why should music be confined to one these misconceptions have to be. அது கிளாசிக்கல் மியூசிக்னா இது சினிமாக்கும் கிளாசிக்கல் மியூசிக் இது கிடையாது, சினிமா மியூசிஷியன் இது மாதிரி தேர் ஆர் a lot of clichés and thing. So அந்த பீரியட்ல வந்து of course he had that because of his background he had that handicap. But the same people who criticize him, I'm saying the same, I would say all the classical musicians as such, I'm not talking about one particular musician. They were the first one to honor him after he scored the symphony. In the classical musicians now, the Nardhan Savala or symphony score point on the they were the first ones. There was a large gathering of people. Bombay JST gave a concert. We went, myself and my sister went for it. It happened as early as 1993. So the same musicians who said, they accepted him. And also after the Sindhu-Baravi controversy, I have authentic information that one great Carnatic music legend who is no more with us, some musicians approached him and they wanted him to protest. They all wanted to go on a rally to his house, Ilayaraja's house, to say how can he change Tyagaraja's raga. But the greatness of that musician is that he refused. He said, I will not do it.
ஒரே பாயிண்ட் நான் சொன்னேன். ஆக்சுவலாக நானே எனக்கே அதில் ஒரு இது நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டோம். பட் தோனி இன்டர்வியூவில் வந்து இளையராஜா பேச்சில் ஒரு கிளாரிட்டி. ஸோ இளையராஜா என்ன சொன்னார் அப்படின்னா, he doesn't want to change தியாகராஜாஸ் அந்த சுச்சுவேஷன் சொன்னாலே. சாரமதியில் வந்து he has composed the tune, basic tune, அதில் வந்து பாடறியும் படுப்பேனே இருந்தார். அது கிளாசிக்கல் மியூசிக்கு ஒரு டியூன் கொடுக்க ஒரு லிரிசிஸ்ட் கிடைக்கல. ஸோ தட்ஸ் வாட் ஹேப்பன். அது நீங்கள் தோனியோட இன்டர்வியூ கேட்டீங்க. இந்த அவர் வந்து தியாகராஜர் கேட்குற முதல்ல எடுத்து சாரமதியில் மாற்றல. ஸோ பேசிக்லி சுச்சுவேஷன் சொல்லிட்டார் பாலச்சந்தர். ஸோ அவர் என்ன பண்ணிட்டாரு, டியூனை கம்போஸ் பண்ணிட்டார். முதல்ல இளையராஜாவோட பேட்டர்ன் டியூன் கம்போசிங். ஸோ எஸ் கம்போஸ்ட் டியூன் ஃபார் தட் ஃபோக்கிஷ் இது. அது கர்நாடிக் டியூனையும் கம்போஸ் பண்ணிட்டார். அந்த மாதிரி நின்று டியூனை கம்போஸ் பண்ணிட்டார். அதுக்கு somebody has to write lyrics for that. ஒரு கிளாசிக்கல் பேஸ்டா அது கிடைக்கல. ஸோ he changed. So
I thought what he said again, because that 85 also I'm aware of what happened. So there was a lot of controversy. Even his brother, the so-called who is lifting his car and saying I'm a proud brother, he was the one who stirred up this controversy. Let us not get into that. But அது வந்து என்னன்னாக்க our the interview I read in 85 was that our சாரமத்தியில் போனோம் டிசைட் பண்ணது கரெக்ட். ஸோ வாட் யூ ஈவன் இந்த இன்டர்வியூ இஸ் தோனி ரிலீஸில் கூட என்ன சொல்கிறேன்னா, தியாகராஜ புக்கை இது பண்ணிவிட்டு நான் வந்து வீட்டுக்கு போய் நான் அதை ஓப்பன் பண்ணேன்னா கரெக்டாக இந்த இது வந்து அதுவும் நான் வந்து அந்த இதை எவ்வளோ தள்ளி இருக்கணும் அவன் நினச்சேனோ அதே அளவு இந்த இதுலேயும் இருந்தது. அதை அப்படியே பார்த்தோன்னா நான் போட்டு டியூனுக்கு இது அப்படியே ஃபிட் ஆச்சு. ஸோ எனக்காகவே தியாகராஜர் எழுதின மாதிரி எனக்கு ஒரு தோற்றம். அந்த மறுமணே ஐம் ஷூர் யூர் ஆல் ஃபேமிலி. அது வந்து ஒரிஜினலாக காம்போதிங்கிற ராகத்தில் தியாகராஜர் கம்போஸ் பண்ணுறது. He changed it. அப்போ தான் அதில் people, I would say there are jobless people who try to find fault with each and everything. They are obviously jobless. Rather than understanding what, why and how it happened, rather than simply saying no, the Tyagaraja, that's all, how can he be touched? For that matter, சில தியாகராஜர் கிட்டே 2-3 ராகத்தில் சேர்க்கிறாரு. ஈவன் கர்நாடிக் மியூசிஷியன் சி ஒரே ராகம் தான் அப்படின்னு இல்லை. சில இதை வந்து ஒரு ராகத்தில் பாடுறாங்க, அதே இதை வேறு ராகத்துலையும் பாடுறாங்க. Nobody has questions. So why I'm saying that and idukku appuram they were this pandits also accepted, the so-called pandits, the Carnatic musicians. Now every year Navaratri doesn't pass without these Carnatic musicians giving concerts. There are so many musicians who are great, who Carnatic musicians who accept that he's a genius. In fact, even people have said naanga think panna oru idula kuda illadi ivar andha innum different ah think pannikaru. And about music he can go on and on and on. And once SPB mentioned that இது ஏன் இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணிருக்கேன்னு யாராவது ஒரு கர்நாடிக் பண்டிட் கேட்டால் ஒரு 1 ஹவருக்கு மேலே லெக்சர் கொடுக்குறதுனா அது இளையராஜா ஒருத்தரால் தான் முடியும். நான் ஏன் இந்த இடத்துல இந்த நோட்டை கலந்தேன் அப்படின்னு யாராவது கேட்டாங்கன்னா he can explain. Nobody else can explain. So
just one thing I want to add, which is a intangible asset of India, which I feel has striking a similarity in his composition. is that like for us every icon is one particular in a very broader perspective. For us all the icon resembles one and the same. At times like when you see Shiva and Uma, Parvati next to her, it's all one and the same for us. Ambal Durga, then Iswaran Durga, and Point. But when traditional Sthapati or an iconograpist is when the god is there, and let us see, speak another male and female. When a male is there and there's a female next to waiting to be hugged, like the Pradosha Murti on the Pradosha, there is a form of Shiva and Uma standing next to each other. They are alighted on a Nandi Kundu, Pradosha Kalathala, Valamara Valakar. Avungla Portha Varaikum, the detailing what they bring into the icon of the Shiva and the Uma is so different when they are very close to each other. The moment they are going to reside next to each other, the feeling what they have in their body, like the minuscule level of change in the body anatomy of a female vis-a-vis a male when they're standing next to each other, very close to each other. They say that measurement would differ in the lower eyelid and Tondakudi, this particular area, and the hips of it and the pelvic region would be different, mildly different, vis-a-vis when the same god is made to sit on the next to him or on the thigh. So there are micro minuscule levels of changes in the measurements, very micro minuscule level. And there are even Sthapatis who said the Garbharakshambigai of Tirukkaragavu in Tanjavur, in Kumbakonam Jilla, she is 2 days pregnant. It is such a fascinating information they give that the anatomical difference of a female's body when they are just 2 days pregnant. The god is supposed to be carrying the womb of it ever. Why I quote this example is that this micro minuscule change in the swaras, which could be a perfect, as he was since morning you can constantly listen to he speaks, there's a full ragam being done. There's only one change of one nishadam there, one daivatam here, that gives a whole lot of, not just difference, a grace. It's not a difference, it's like grace. It's like a god is giving a grace to it, the god giving a grace. It's like that level these particular composers have done it. They have their own justifications for it, and ultimately it is not, they don't follow any rules. It's only ultimately the product that comes out of it, and that the grace what it goes to propagate to the humanity more matters than the actual point of reference for the raga. I would rather quote, he is a perfect example for an iconographist who have survived on this earth, who have made the smallest changes possible here and there within the eyeball, within the eyelash, or within the twitch of an eyebrow. There's a classic example of a Buddha where they change a small eyebrow change from the tip to the end to create a totally different bhavam in the face. It's only a grain kind of granule to be removed from the lip to differentiate between a smile and an arrogance in the lips. There's no big difference. In a painting, the smallest stroke in an eye is totally enough to ruin an entire eye or to give absolute grace to it. So, on the Nagasa Vela Pantavadala, perhaps Raja is the best example of what we see since morning. That small changes here and there totally takes it away from its original color, like as he has also handled a very sad ragam to a duet. That certainly doesn't come out of intellect, no planning, it has to happen. And has to justifiably happen from within. So I conclude it by saying also that to me he is part of one of the Vishwakarmans, one of the greatest architects and sculptors of the country. Thank you.